Let's take our next question, which is from a friend of UN Watch who was with us in Geneva back at the Durban II World Racism Conference in 2009. He was there to fight Ahmadinejad and the other racists. Let's give the floor to Professor Gil Troy.
This is Professor Gil Troy. What's so depressing about this extraordinary new database by UN Watch is that it proves what Daniel Patrick Moynihan, the US ambassador to the UN 45 years ago, said was true. He warned that this obsession with Israel would derail the cause of human rights and would undermine the credibility of the United Nations and the international community. And indeed, we see that. But this website does something else which is really important. It focuses, as Daniel Patrick Moynihan said, on the accusers, not the accused. It doesn't say what's wrong with Israel. It says what's wrong with them. Why are they so obsessed with finger pointing against Israel, against the world's one Jewish state, which is also a democracy? How do we change that? How do we improve this situation?
Gil, thank you for mentioning Moynihan. In the history of the United Nations, there were two ambassadors who are worth reading and listening to for their eloquence, their brilliance, and their wit. One is Abba Eban, Israel's first UN ambassador and foreign minister. The second is Daniel Patrick Moynihan. His book, A Dangerous Place, is a brilliant memoir and was formative on my own thinking when I first arrived in Geneva at the UN. Moynihan captured intellectually what was happening at the United Nations. And Gil, you wrote a terrific book, Moynihan's Moment, which told the dramatic story of Moynihan's stand at the infamous 1975 resolution when it was adopted, Zionism is racism. Now, you asked, how do we change the finger pointing against Israel? It's not easy. I think there are a few things that we can do. First, people need to urge their governments to do the right thing. And our database will help with that with information and petitions. You can go in our database, get the information you need, and urge your country to vote the right way. The other second factor I would mention is that Israel needs to make a priority in its own relations with other states that the UN bias is something that's at the top of their agenda. They need to pressure countries to change their votes at the UN. If Israel doesn't raise it in their foreign relations with other countries, then we can't expect any change to happen. Finally, I want to say that we have seen some change. In the past couple of years, we saw a number of countries change their votes on actually the resolutions that I mentioned before, the Palestinian Committee, the Palestinian Division. We had the Czech Republic, Germany, Switzerland, and several other countries changed their votes to vote no, opposing those resolutions. And so it gives us some hope that if we take action, if we get the information, urge our countries to do the right thing, some countries are beginning to change their votes. We need to do so much more.